Hello friends, it is finally Halloween weekend. So today is actually Thursday and tomorrow is the start of Camp Weekendween, which is so exciting. If you don't know, Gabby and Olivia normally host Summerween and Winterween, and this year they decided to do a small readathon over the Halloween weekend called Camp Weekendween. I'm so excited because I had so much fun doing Summerween, and I'm gonna be real, the books that I picked, I didn't pick them based off the prompts. Yeah, I don't know where my brain was at, but I just started picking books that I was interested in to read for the weekend, and I don't think they really fit the prompts. I'm gonna have to really finesse these. But also tomorrow night, Friday night, is the last live show for the Reader Scare Readathon that's being hosted by Noelle from Noelle 7 Pages, Rachel from Let Me in the Library, and the Roomies Digest, which is Mo and Christine. And I am on the live tomorrow, and the theme is villains. So I'm actually gonna go out today, and I'll take you with me, maybe, depending on how busy it is. And I'm gonna get some stuff for my costume, but first I wanted to go through my TBR because I'll probably forget if I don't do it right now. I have one book that I am prioritizing. I have to finish it this weekend because it is a book club pick and I need to finish it before the live show, and that's White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson. So this is the book that I'm going to be focusing on. So I also want to get to Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke. This is a novella. I just hear it's really creepy and it's in a chat room in the early 2000s. So I'm pretty excited about this because MSN Messenger, and I'm ready to be grossed out because I hear it's pretty gross. The next one is one that's been all over BookTube for the last year, and that's Dowry of Blood. So I'm excited to get to this one and see what the hype is about. So the next one, it's really unlikely that I'll get to it this weekend, but I do want to finish it soon-ish. And that's The Last House on Needless Street. I'm actually 100 pages into this already. This was Gabby's book club pick, but they are literally having the discussion tomorrow, and I'm not gonna read all of this today or tomorrow. But I do want to get to it soon so I can go back and watch the live show and see what they had to say about it. The writing style on this is unlike anything that I've read before, so it's taken me a little bit to get into it. I don't really know if I like it, but it is creepy and I have some theories about things, but I'm trying to keep it vague because even the synopsis of this is fairly vague. But yeah, I'm not super invested in the story right now, but I'm enjoying it and I'm curious about where it's gonna go. And then the last one on here, I really only put it on my TBR because it just came in from the library and I get really stressed out if I have too many library books out. So I'm trying to get through my library books right now. And that's Horrid by Katrina Leno. This is another haunted house story, so I'm looking forward to this one, even though I've never read anything by Katrina Leno, I don't think. But I know a few friends who really love Summer of Salt, so I'm looking forward to this because I really, really love haunted house stories. So that's my TBR for the weekend, and pretty much for the following week I'll probably keep reading through those books. But this vlog is just going to be the weekend of Camp Weekendween and the last live of Reader Dare. So let's go get my costume.
They gathered by the sea, sand people anxiously. Not once did speak to me. When tides came, did not flee. They each spoke the same, had the same dreams, same pain and same feelings. Staring at the sea and what was left of me. Found out, they tried to shout, but when in doubt, the facade of the sea staring back at me. Each led like sheep, stepped foot to sea, drowning oh so patiently. Sand people sit and wait anxiously.
It's me, Miss Trunchbull. This is what I made yesterday that you saw me painting so that I could be Mrs. Trunchbull. RIP my hairline. I already have a headache, but you know what? I've made myself a hot chocolate in my mummy mug and I'm feeling good. Also, these are socks that I cut. You know, we do with what we got. Anyway, bye.
Their beds to the other before falling in love with the one who's a psycho. Here's why none of this worked. The relationships were not handled well at all. The girl Tiernan has sex with her step-uncle Jake first, then step-cousin Noah, and then other step-cousin Caleb. It's just, well, it's hard to describe. But the moment she's finished with Jake or Noah, all the lust that the author has spent ages building up fizzles out of her.
My dog's barking. Wait, no. Oh.
Hello, it's day 2 of Camp Weekend Ween. I'm really tired this morning. I didn't sleep that well. But last night for Reader Scare, I did read some of White Smoke. There was not a lot of reading happening last night, so I'm only 40 pages into it. I don't really have any opinions on it at the moment. There's nothing too exciting happening, but I think haunted house stories kind of are like that, where everything starts to happen towards the middle to the end. But this morning I kind of want to read Diary of Blood, so I think when I'm eating before work I'll probably start this. There is an audiobook for it, so I might listen to the audiobook while I'm getting ready today, or maybe at work if I have some downtime, but I am primarily trying to focus on White Smoke, so I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna go get ready for work and try to listen to White Smoke, and then at some point physically read Diary of Blood, and I'll update you.
Take care of me, but fair warning, I take more than I give normally. Make tea with honey, but I hope you see I'm in a bubble and not always loving. I am a bee, but I'll try not to sting. Oh, I am a bee, and I'm not always loving.
Happy Halloween! It's Halloween morning. I have my skeleton. I'm so excited. It's Halloween, but I'm also sad because for most people this means that tomorrow they're going to Christmas mode, and I'm just not a Christmas person, so I'm sad because all the spooky stuff like in the world is gonna be gone, but I'm gonna be spooky forever. I don't know exactly what we're doing today. I know we're gonna watch Jennifer's Body because I've never seen it before. I know I've never seen Jennifer's Body. I don't know what hole I was living in all this time, but I haven't seen it, and we're gonna watch that tonight. That's probably all we'll watch, and then I'll have candy out for the kids that live around my apartment. I think we're gonna order out tonight and make ourselves some treats. So we are gonna go to a bookstore because our Sunday, like every Sunday we go to a bookstore. So we're gonna do that today, but we're gonna go to one of my favorite indie bookstores that has a bunch of Halloween decorations. And I just wanna see if they still have stuff out, because I went to Michael's the other day, and when I tell you that they already had Christmas stuff out, do you know how hard it was for me to find anything in September that was Halloween related? And you're telling me that October hasn't even ended and Christmas stuff is out? I also really want hot apple cider, so I think I'm gonna go to the store and try to find some hot apple cider and also get some caramel because I have some apples and maybe we'll just dip. I already have popcorn, we're ordering food, I'm ready to snack. Anyway, back to the updates that you care about. I have been reading. Surprisingly, I've gotten through quite a bit of reading. So for White Smoke, I've read 103 pages, so I'm on chapter 7. I'm not feeling really anything towards it. I'm really curious how the marijuana thing is gonna fit in here, because so far it feels like there's supposed to be a conversation about the criminalization of marijuana, yet Marigold is being villainized for her use of marijuana, for her anxiety. So I'm having like really conflicting feelings about that. But again, I'm not far enough into it to see how that fully plays out. So I probably won't give you any more thoughts on this until I'm actually finished with it. But yesterday at work, I did have a few hours of doing like a task where I could listen to an audiobook. So I ended up listening to Dowry of Blood, and I am now just past part 3. I'm 149 pages into it. I really, really love the writing style of this, and I like the atmosphere and the tone of this book. There's not necessarily much happening plot-wise, but this is a reimagining of Dracula's Brides, and it turns into a polyamorous relationship. That's actually what I knew about the book going into it, and it's really about his first bride, Constanza, who is telling the story of Dracula, how he is very manipulative and abusive, and like how that's affecting the people around him, including Constanza. So it's from her perspective. She's basically writing what I feel like is a letter to Dracula. In this first part, she talks a lot about her undying love and devotion for Dracula, and how she couldn't see her life any other way except for being with him, and how she would do anything for him. And that kind of translates through the entire story when he starts to slowly but surely become very manipulative and abusive in different ways, and just taking advantage of the people that he brings into his life. And she starts to see a lot about him that is really devastating to her, especially when she has felt like she's given so much of herself to him, but also the undying affection and love that she's had for him for so long. I think it starts to crumble in front of her, and you're just seeing their relationship, Dracula and Constanza's relationship, play out through the years. I don't know, I'm really enjoying it. It's not like my new favorite book of all time at this current point in time. I mean, I'm pretty far into it, and I have less than 100 pages left of it. So I don't know if it'll be my new favorite book of this year, but I definitely am glad that I picked it up. Also, to literally no one's surprise, I am changing up my TBR. I'm not going to read any of the other books that I had on my TBR because I'm not going to have enough time. But also, I recently found out that a comic I recently bought is a standalone, and it's a horror. So I'm going to read that. And that's The Low Low Woods by Carmen Maria Machado. I don't really know what this is about. I just know there's something in the woods. Every day I wake up and every day I have an identity crisis. I don't know who I am anymore. Also, I didn't like this. I think I'm giving it a 3 stars because I did like certain aspects and certain conversations that were trying to be had in this book, but otherwise I think there were a lot of things that missed the mark in here. Namely, there were too many plot lines happening that never were explored. They never came together. I feel like they should have been almost a separate book, maybe, because I saw what she was trying to do, but it just didn't work. I'm not going to go into too much detail about White Smoke because I'm actually going to be on a live show with Casey, Mafalda, and Rachel for the 20-something book club, and we're going to be discussing White Smoke with spoilers. But if you don't know what this is about, basically it's a haunted house story. So you have our main character, Marigold, and her mom gets this like art fellowship where they get to move into this house on a block that seems to be abandoned, and their house is slightly renovated, but the caveat is they can't go into the basement. And this is basically like a new start for their family. But Marigold is under the impression that it's all because of her issues that she's been going through. Once they move into this house, weird stuff starts happening, and Marigold's not 100% sure if she's just making it up in her mind, if it's like her anxiety, or if something creepy is really happening in this house. One thing I will say though is what I did like is the last like 15% of this book was pretty creepy and had me on edge, and I did like the reveal for the most part. It was unexpected. It's not exactly what I wanted, but I appreciated the reveal because it got me. Definitely didn't expect that. But yeah, I just feel like there was so much happening in here, so many conversations that were supposed to be had about like gentrification, about the criminalization of weed, and like the discussion of anxiety and how weed can dampen anxiety. But I just feel like the entire time, those things were not explored well enough and in depth for how she presented them, first off. And secondly, I feel like Marigold was always villainized for wanting weed to help with her anxiety. And no one noticed that. No one was like, hey, maybe her addiction to weed is that she really needs help with her anxiety. Her parents never thought about that. They just wanted to move her to this creepy house and be like, you're a drug addict, you're doing that nasty drug. And it's like, maybe she needs to go to a therapist, or maybe we can explore how there are certain strands of weed that actually help with anxiety, and some people do use that for anxiety and it's not a big deal. I don't know, I just don't like how Marigold was villainized for her want of weed for her anxiety. Even though I do get that there's a plot line in here where people have been put in prison because of weed, and I think that that's why Marigold was being villainized in this book, but it just didn't like work well together because I think those were 2 different conversations that were to be had. So yeah, anyway, I'm not gonna go into any more detail because that live show's happening. But I worked on Saturday, so I wanted to make up for the time that I wasn't reading on Saturday today. And so I'm gonna read this morning. I think I could read the whole thing this morning, and then I'll probably wrap it up tomorrow and upload this tomorrow.
I'll let you go, just need some time. At your own pace, you need to find your way. I know now you'll never change your mind for something that matters to me. You do not know what I have in mind. I packed our bags, we'll be on our way.
Hello friends, I chopped my hair off. So yeah, I got my hair cut. She was like, let's straighten it because you always have your hair curly, so let's straighten it. And she added a few curls in it, but I slept on it and it's like all It's weird. The Animal Crossing update happened, so I've been playing Animal Crossing. And although that seems like it would take away from my reading, I actually finished Diary of Blood and started a whole other book, which you don't care about. It's not part of this vlog, but if you do care, it's Local Woman Missing. But yeah, I finished Diary of Blood. Surprisingly, I'm giving this a 4 stars. And I say surprisingly because this book is truly about a romance, like an abusive relationship with Dracula and his first bride, Constanza, who he turns, and then like their relationship through hundreds of years and how he would bring other people into their relationship without ever asking her. But it does turn into a polyamorous relationship where she's consenting to it as well. She ends up really loving both of the people that are brought into the relationship. But like, it's not about the vampires. It's not about turning people. There's no like action scenes. It's genuinely a story that's written like a letter to Dracula as to why they needed to kill him. And you know that she's going to kill him from the first page. You just don't know the story behind it. So that's what this story is. She says, "I never dreamed it would end like this, my lord. Your blood splashing hot flecks onto my nightgown and pouring in rivulets onto our bedchamber floor. But creatures like us live a long time. There is no horror left in this world that can surprise me. Eventually, your death becomes its own sort of inevitability." So I definitely had to give it a 4 stars because I was surprised at how invested I was in the story and figuring out why they needed to kill him, and the fact that there wasn't like this overarching plot that plays into a bigger story. It was a simple story about trying to get away from this abusive man, vampire man. But I will say by the end of it, I did kind of want more. And I just think that's the fantasy reader in me. But this was incredibly beautiful. The writing is so beautiful. The tone is perfect for what this story is. But like, obviously, this is a very harrowing story because it is about a manipulative and abusive relationship and how he manipulates the love that these 3 vampires have for him and uses it against them. But I really liked the ending of this a lot. As for the Lola Woods, I'm still like, I think I'm only half-ish way, not even halfway. I'm still like in the beginning portion of it. Again, playing Animal Crossing, so I only read this before bed for like 10 minutes. I did end up fulfilling 2 prompts in the Camp Weekend Ween readathon, which was to read a book that's like a horror / thriller. There's another slash on it and I can't remember. White Smoke is technically a horror, and the other prompt was to read a book with a group of teenagers. White Smoke also has a group of teenagers. The other 2 prompts were like to read a book with green on the cover. I don't think either of these have green. No, they have like red and black and brown. And then to read a book with a camp setting, which I did not do. But I fulfilled 2 of the prompts, so I'm proud of myself. So let me know what you read for Camp Weekend Ween if you participated, or what you read for the Halloween weekend. Let me know what your costume was, if you had a good Halloween, if you celebrate, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye!